Alright, so if you haven't done the final domain ignis, this is a way that you can guarantee a victory. The boss fight is actually relatively difficult normally, but if you've already tried it, you know after the 30% mark or so, the boss activates flinch immunity. You see, that is behind an AI script that requires the boss to first use its special, and then after the special, it activates flinch immunity. In order to use your special, you have to be on the ground. If we never let the boss touch the ground after we start the fight, then we can juggle the boss from full to empty, 100% to 0%. Free fight. Chun-Li is a character that's really good for this because, as you can see, she has a 20-year duration on her S2 and plenty of time for your SCT battery to get a proc of Goddess Kiss to refill. Technically, you don't want to be using 100 kicks, but it does more damage. It's just this skill actually keeps them in the air. Guaranteed. 100 kicks, as you can see, puts her very close to the ground before the next skill starts. So you have a very low margin of error on your inputs, or you're going to drop her. Now, I'm just trying to get the video done as fast as possible so that I don't have to sit here forever. So I'm going to spam 100 kicks more often than I would normally. If I was desperate to get a clear, I'm only using 100 kicks when I have no stocks on spinning bird. Is it? It is spinning bird kick. I wasn't sure. For some reason, I thought it was spinning bind kick. So, yeah, a guaranteed win on a boss that's actually pretty difficult to fight normally. Like, it actually does a lot of damage. And while you can cheese the multiplayer version, my Estella is built for the multiplayer version right now, you can't cheese this one. Or I'm pretty sure you can't. You can build 100% fire resist, and if you have 100% fire resist in your actual gear, if you go into the fight and you use the 35% fire resist buff, that is not 35 fire resist, that is 35 reduced damage from fire damage. It is a multiplicative effect, whereas resistance is just your flat percentage reduction. Now, with arcs, any arc that says resistance by X, unless it says in battle, it means that it actually just boosts your base resist. So I use Icy Guardian as well as a bunch of fire resist accessories to get 100%. You can actually pretty easily do it on a lot of characters that are either fire or ice type normally. Now, in this version of the fight, if you try to do that after the 50% mark, if the boss is not being permanently juggled to death, she'll start throwing out her anima, and her anima will give you a massive reduction to your resistance. I had, I think, 140%, and I was still going to the point where she'd actually damage me. So it still helps to have resistance, I think, unless it just takes you to like a fixed value. But unless that is the case, it still helps to have the resistance, but you can't cheese it. You won't be able to just anchor the fight indefinitely like I do with Estella. Now, the only thing that kind of limits you here, you have to have a character that has a very long animation. Either that or you have to have like the most reliable SCT battery in the game. I don't know who that would even be, but there'll be a lot of times that you go 10, 20 seconds without getting a Goddess Kiss prompt. And her S2 takes so long that you're not going to have any problem bridging that. I mean, a few times in that fight, you see that I get down to just my S1, and the S1 is awful for juggling. But if it's all you have left, it's what you have. You'll use it. But yeah, I was also not using a great SED battery because I wanted that 25k cap at the end. Just, again, all about beating it relatively quickly rather than consistently. It is funny that I got a faster clear time by choosing the fight than I did by actually fighting it, because I beat it legitimately the first time I fought it. Again, it's a pain in the ass, but like, I did it. Apparently, I could have done it faster if I had just not played the game and anti-played the game. For multiplayer, I'm just going to include that in this. As I already said, you can get 100% fire resist. You're not totally immune to 100% fire resist. The boss will use fire tornadoes that bounce around the ring. If you've probably done the fight, you know what it is. Those all, when they hit you, they have a chance to apply, I think it's 20% resistance. But at the same time, I feel like I went to 120 and I was still going down to 80% resistance, so it might increase if you're over 100. If they hit you, you are vulnerable to damage. Now, it's easy enough to dodge them if you shove the boss all the way to the left side of the arena and then you kind of stand above it or closer to the screen. It's above, behind, it's in front of it. Put it that way. If you stand in front of it so that you're closer towards the screen, it'll almost never hit you with the tornadoes. So if you have a ranged character, you stand in that top corner, then you can just burst it down and be fine. She'll use spells, the spells will hit you, but they'll do 1 damage. The other thing you can do is, what I do with Estella is I anchor the rim. When I'm hosting, I have the revive summon on, and if my team dies, I bring them back. I have a character on my team that, like, I'll usually roll with my own second character, and I know that my second character can kill the boss. And if anything goes wrong and they get killed twice, then I can just bring them back. Kind of depends on lag. As long as you're not lagging, the boss will usually get juggled because, just like this version, she's not immune to flinch, and the only thing that'll really give her a chance to attack back is either having no SCT battery, which that's part of the reason I take Estella. I can give the whole team some SCT stocks, and other than that, lag. Everyone's skilling, they're all hitting the boss, but because the server's taking forever to actually register the hits, she has plenty of time to land on the ground, and she has the bonus of being server side calculated. So once she touches the ground, she's already starting her cast, starting her next attack, whatever. Whereas your damage has to wait until you tell the server you've done X attack, and the server decides whether or not you did, and then if it decides you did, it calculates the damage. Lots of delays. So lag is going to be the main killer for that. If you really want to guarantee your wins, take a support. Take Sarah, I haven't seen a lot of people using Rena lately, but if you take Rena, she'll keep the whole team alive. Take someone who just buffs durability a ton, or can revive everyone, make them immune to fire damage, and pick up your team until they finish the fight. But that should do it. That is all the tips I have to offer. I'm going to do a second video on the new characters to give more of a breakdown on them. I have quite a bit more to say about Joshua, but I'll save it for that video. For now, later.